Welcome to my channel. Old Valuable Coins. The 1973 dime is part of the Roosevelt Dimes series, which began in 1946 after the death of President Franklin D. Roosevelt. His legacy with the March of Dimes organization inspired the mint to honor him on the 10-cent coin. The design features Roosevelt's portrait on the obverse, symbolizing leadership and public service. Even though the 1973 dime is a common modern coin, many collectors are surprised to learn that certain examples can reach impressive values, especially those with strong strikes, rare errors, or unusual minting characteristics. Now let's talk about where the 1973 dime was struck. In 1973, the United States Mint produced dimes at three major locations: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. Philadelphia coins have no mint mark and represent a large portion of the year's production. Denver coins carry the D mint mark, and San Francisco coins with an S mint mark were primarily produced as proof coins for collectors. The majority of 1973 dimes that appear in circulation today come from Philadelphia and Denver, while San Francisco proof coins are usually found in collections rather than pocket change. The composition of the 1973 dime is also important. Unlike earlier dimes produced before 1965, which contained 90% silver, the 1973 dime is part of the clad coinage era. It features a copper-nickel outer layer bonded to a pure copper core. This makes the coin lightweight and durable, designed for everyday use without the high cost of silver. Because 1973 dimes contain no silver, their base metal value is low, but collectible value can rise based on condition and rarity. Collectors pay close attention to the design details of the Roosevelt dime. On the obverse, you will find the profile of Franklin D. Roosevelt facing left, with the word Liberty to the left, the motto "In God We Trust" below, and the date 1973 positioned toward the lower right. Under the neck, you may find a mint mark such as D or S, depending on where the coin was minted. On the reverse, the design features a torch symbolizing liberty, flanked by an olive branch for peace and an oak branch for strength. Above is the inscription United States of America, below is one dime, and the motto E Pluribus Unum runs across the center. Now let's explore mintages. The 1973 dime had high production numbers, especially from Philadelphia and Denver, making most examples common. Millions were produced, which means the majority of 1973 dimes circulate today with little added value. However, even among high mintage coins, there are gems that stand out. Collectors seek coins with strong strikes, full details on the torch bands on the reverse, and clean surfaces without heavy wear. These characteristics significantly increase desirability. The most exciting part for many collectors is the possibility of finding rare errors and varieties. Some 1973 dimes are known to have minting errors that raise their value dramatically. One of the most desirable characteristics among collectors is a sharply struck reverse showing well-defined torch bands, often referred to as full bands. When the horizontal bands on the torch are clearly separated and not blended, collectors consider the strike superior, and such a coin can command a much higher price. Another potential rarity involves off-center strikes, where part of the design is missing because the coin blank was misaligned during striking. The more dramatic the off-center appearance, the more valuable the coin can be. A clean, readable date combined with strong design detail increases desirability. Off-center 1973 dimes can sell for much more than face value. You may also encounter die cracks, which appear as raised lines on the coin caused by a damaged die. While small die cracks are fairly common and may not add significant value, larger cracks or dramatic breaks can attract collectors who enjoy unique minting oddities. Another error type that collectors look for is a clipped planchette, where a portion of the coin's edge is missing due to the blank being improperly cut. These pieces can be interesting additions to a collection and frequently sell above face value. One of the rarest and most exciting possibilities will be finding a 1973 dime mistakenly struck on a silver planchette or another foreign coin blank. These types of errors are extremely rare, but when they occur, they can be worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars due to their unusual nature and scarcity. While most 1973 dimes are clad, every collector dreams of discovering a coin struck on the wrong metal. Condition plays a major role in determining value. A 1973 dime that has been heavily circulated will usually remain worth face value, but coins that have been preserved in excellent condition with bright luster, sharp detail, and minimal marks can attract collector interest. Proof coins from San Francisco with deep mirror surfaces and frosted details are especially popular among collectors who appreciate craftsmanship and striking quality. The San Francisco Proof 1973 dime represents some of the highest quality minting of the year. These coins were specially manufactured using polished dies and carefully prepared planchets to create a mirror-like background and sharp frosted design. Although proof coins are not rare in terms of production numbers, their superior appearance and preservation make them appealing. Proof coins that remain flawless and undamaged can become valuable to collectors seeking perfect examples. Even though the majority of 1973 dimes will not bring high prices, the excitement comes from knowing that a rare and valuable example could appear in everyday pocket change, coin rolls, or inherited collections. Many collectors enjoy searching through rolls of dimes from banks or sorting through jars of spare change, hoping to spot a coin with special characteristics. The thrill of the hunt keeps interest in modern coins strong. Understanding small details can make a big difference in identifying a valuable 1973 dime. Look closely at the edges, torch design, lettering, and mint mark area. Pay attention to sharpness of strike, unusual features, or signs of minting mistakes. These details separate common coins from rare discoveries. Collectors also appreciate the historical context of the Roosevelt dime. This series not only commemorates a major figure in American history but also represents an important shift in United States coinage, moving from silver to clad metals. The 1973 dime stands as a symbol of modern minting technology and everyday commerce in the United States during the 1970s. The 1973 dime remains an excellent coin for collectors at all levels. Beginners enjoy its affordability and availability, while experienced collectors focus on high-quality strikes, unique errors, and rare variations. The potential to find a valuable piece keeps interest high, and the historical importance of the design adds depth to the collecting experience. If you have a 1973 dime at home, take a closer look. Examine the coin under good lighting, check for mint mark, look for sharp torch bands, search for unusual features, and consider its overall condition. You might discover that the small coin you overlooked is more interesting than you thought. First up, this United States dime from 1976 was produced during an important time in American history, as the country celebrated the bicentennial, the 200th anniversary of independence. Even though the dime design did not change for the bicentennial the way the quarter, half dollar, and dollar did, the 1976 D dime still holds strong interest among collectors because of its connection to that era, its production numbers, and the potential for rare errors that slipped through the minting process. The 1976 D dime features the familiar Roosevelt design created by John R. Sinek. On the obverse, we see the portrait of Franklin D. Roosevelt facing left, the word liberty on the left side, the motto "In God We Trust" below the portrait, and the date 1976 positioned to the right. On this coin, the Denver mint mark, the letter D, appears just above the date. This mint mark is extremely important, because it confirms that the coin was minted at the Denver Mint in Colorado. Many collectors search specifically for 1976 D dimes because mint marks can influence scarcity, value, and collectability. The reverse of the coin includes a torch in the center, symbolizing liberty, flanked by an olive branch representing peace and an oak branch symbolizing strength. Around the rim, the inscriptions United States of America, E Pluribus Unum, and one dime complete the classic Roosevelt dime design that has been used for decades. The metal composition of the 1976 D dime is a copper-nickel clad structure, with an outer layer of 75% copper and 25% nickel bonded to a pure copper core. While these are common circulating dimes, certain features and rare minting mistakes can cause values to rise, making some 1976 D dimes worth far more than 10 cents. The Denver Mint produced hundreds of millions of 1976 dimes, so most examples are common in circulation. However, condition plays a huge role in collectability. A 1976 D dime with sharp details, no heavy wear, strong luster, full lines in the torch flames and branches, and clean surfaces is far more desirable than a worn, scratched, or damaged coin. If your dime has crisp edges, clear lettering, and strong details in Roosevelt's hair, it could be more attractive to collectors. Now let's talk about the most exciting part, rare errors and varieties that can dramatically increase the value of a 1976 D dime. Error coins are always highly searched for, and some of the most valuable errors include double die errors, off-center strikes, clipped planchets, broad strikes, die cracks, and missing features. One of the most desirable errors to look for on a 1976 D dime is a double die obverse, where the lettering or portrait appears doubled because the die used to strike the coin shifted slightly during creation. Doubling may appear on the date 1976, the word liberty, or "In God We Trust." If doubling is strong and visible without magnification, collectors may be willing to pay a premium for it. Another rare and valuable error is an off-center strike, where the design is not properly centered on the planchette. The more dramatic the off-center strike, especially if part of the design is missing but the date remains visible, the more valuable the coin can be. Off-center 1976D dimes with the date intact are especially collectible. Clipped planchette errors are also interesting finds. These occur when the metal strip used to punch blanks overlaps improperly, causing a curved clip along the edge of the coin. A clearly defined clip with clean metal edges can add value and interest. Broad strike errors, where the collar fails and the coin spreads outward without forming a raised rim, can create unusual shapes and larger than normal dimes. These can also bring additional value depending on how dramatic the broad strike is. Some collectors search for die cracks on 1976D dimes, where raised lines appear on the coin due to cracks in the die. While minor die cracks usually add very little value, dramatic cracks, sometimes called cuds, where part of the design is filled in with extra metal, can be more desirable. Another category that collectors look for involves extremely high-condition examples that appear almost untouched since leaving the mint. Coins that were stored carefully and protected from scratches or circulation wear can look new and shiny. These examples may appeal to collectors looking for the best preservation of the 1976D dime. There are also rumors and stories about 1976 dimes struck on silver planchets, although these are extremely rare and unlikely. Most Roosevelt dimes after 1964 were not produced in silver, but accidents at the mint have happened in different years, so collectors sometimes test coins that appear heavier or have a different tone. To determine whether a 1976D dime has extra value, it is important to compare it to common circulated examples and examine it closely. Look at the edges for unusual shapes, check for missing details, examine the date and lettering for doubling, and inspect the overall appearance. Collectors often pay attention to strike quality, luster, and eye appeal. A 1976D dime that looks dull, worn, or damaged will typically only be worth face value, while one that looks clean, sharply detailed, and attractive may be worth more. The history behind the Roosevelt dime also adds interest. First introduced in 1946 to honor President Franklin D. Roosevelt after his passing, the dime celebrates his role in the March of Dimes campaign, which helped fight polio. The coin has remained largely unchanged for decades, creating a sense of continuity in American coinage. For coin collectors, searching through change for valuable coins like the 1976D dime can be exciting and rewarding. Many people have discovered rare errors in pocket change, coin rolls, or inherited collections. The thrill of finding a valuable error dime worth far more than 10 cents keeps collectors engaged and curious. If you enjoy coin collecting as a hobby, the 1976D dime offers a perfect example of why attention to detail matters. A tiny letter, a slight shift in design, or a unique minting mistake can transform a common coin into a collectible treasure. Now imagine holding a 1976D dime that looks nearly flawless, with strong brightness and clear details, or discovering an off-center strike that stands out immediately. These are the kinds of finds that collectors dream about. This coin may be small, but its potential for value and historical interest makes it worth examining closely. Whether you are new to collecting or have years of experience, searching for these details can make the hobby more enjoyable. Next up, the 1977 dime is part of the long-running Roosevelt Dimes series, first introduced in 1946 to honor President Franklin D. Roosevelt. The coin was created shortly after his passing and became a symbol of his legacy and connection to the March of Dimes. The 1977 dime continues this design, making it both a historical and collectible coin for people interested in United States coinage. Many collectors love the 1977 dime because it represents a time when coin production in the United States was changing, with modern minting technology improving and error coins becoming more noticeable to collectors. If you are holding a 1977 dime, the first thing to look for is the mint mark. In 1977, the United States Mint produced dimes at several locations, including the Philadelphia Mint, the Denver Mint, and the San Francisco Mint. A 1977 dime without a mint mark was made in Philadelphia. A 1977 dime with a small letter D was produced at the Denver Mint. The San Francisco Mint produced proof coins, which usually show a small letter S. Each mint location can affect the interest and desirability of the coin, especially if the coin has strong details, sharp strikes, and an attractive appearance. The composition of the 1977 dime is a copper-nickel clad structure. That means the outer layers are made of a nickel and copper blend, bonded to an inner core of pure copper. This composition has been standard for United States dimes since 1965, replacing the earlier 90% silver dimes. Because of this, Most 1977 dimes have no silver content and are worth face value in normal circulated condition. However, even though the 1977 dime is common, some rare varieties and error coins can make it worth far more than 10 cents. Collectors of the 1977 Roosevelt dime often search for errors. Error coins happen when something goes wrong during the minting process, and these mistakes can create unusual and valuable pieces. One of the most popular errors to look for is the off-center strike. A 1977 dime that was struck off-center, meaning the design is shifted and part of the coin is blank, can be worth more depending on how dramatic the shift is. The more off-center the strike, the more desirable it becomes to collectors. Another type of valuable 1977 dime is a double die variety, where parts of the design appear doubled because the die used to strike the coin was misaligned during creation. A 1977 dime with doubling on the date, the word liberty, or the motto "In God We Trust" can catch the attention of collectors who love unique and unusual coins. Doubling can make a common dime significantly more valuable, especially when the doubling is bold and easily visible without magnification. There are also 1977 dimes with die cracks, die chips, or filled letters. These happen when the minting dies begin to fail or fill with debris, causing raised extra metal or missing details on the coin. Some coin collectors enjoy collecting dimes with small die chips, especially those around the torch or in Roosevelt's profile. While many of these varieties are minor, certain dramatic die breaks can make a 1977 dime more sought after. One of the most famous and extremely rare possibilities is finding a 1977 dime struck on the wrong planchet. That means the coin was struck on a blank intended for a different denomination or metal composition. For example, if a 1977 dime was struck on a copper penny blank or on a foreign coin blank, it could be incredibly rare and valuable. These wrong planchet errors are not common, but they do exist in United States coinage, and collectors always hope to discover one. When evaluating a 1977 dime, pay attention to the condition. A coin that has been in circulation for many years will show wear, with flattened details, scratches, and discoloration. A coin with strong luster, crisp details, and minimal marks will be far more attractive to collectors. Coins that were never used and have been preserved in excellent condition can bring strong interest. Even though most 1977 dimes are common, finding one in exceptional condition can make it more desirable. Proof 1977 dimes from the San Francisco Mint can also appeal to collectors. Proof coins have mirror-like surfaces and sharp details because they were specially struck for collectors rather than for circulation. If you find a 1977 dime with deep reflectivity and attractive contrast, it may be a proof coin. These coins were originally sold in sets, but sometimes proof coins appear loose in circulation if they were removed from their packaging. The 1977 Roosevelt dime also carries historical value. It represents the era of modern United States coinage and reflects advancements in minting technology. Many collectors enjoy studying multiple 1977 dimes to compare strike quality, small design differences, and minting variations. The more collectors learn about these coins, the more interesting they become. You might wonder whether your 1977 dime could be valuable today. The truth is that most 1,977 dimes are worth only their face value of 10 cents in everyday condition. However, certain rare errors, high-quality examples, and unique varieties can be worth much more. Coins with major off-center strikes, strong doubling, or wrong planchet errors can receive significant attention from collectors. This is why it is always worth looking carefully at your change and examining older coins. The key to discovering value in a 1977 dime is observation. Look closely at the date, the mint mark area, the lettering, and the edges. Compare the coin to standard examples. Pay attention to anything unusual. A small difference could mean that your 1977 dime is not an ordinary coin. Many valuable coin discoveries have been made by people who simply examined the coins they already had. Collectors love the thrill of searching for hidden treasures in everyday coins, and the 1977 dime continues to be a favorite among people who enjoy coin roll hunting and collecting United States coins. The idea that a tiny 10-cent coin could be worth far more makes the hobby exciting and rewarding. Now we will explore the 1983 P dime was minted in Philadelphia in the United States during a time when coin production was very high, and millions of these dimes were released for everyday use. The coin features the familiar Roosevelt design, honoring President Franklin D. Roosevelt, whose contributions to American history, leadership during World War II, and support for public health efforts made him an important figure to commemorate on U.S. currency. The obverse of the coin displays the portrait of Roosevelt facing left, along with the word liberty, the motto "In God We Trust," the year 1983, and the mint mark P, indicating that it was struck at the Philadelphia Mint. The reverse shows the iconic torch, olive branch, and oak branch, symbolizing liberty, peace, and strength, along with the denomination 1 dime and United States of America. The composition of the 1983 P dime is a copper-nickel clad structure, with an outer layer of 75% copper and 25% nickel, bonded to a core made mostly of copper. The coin weighs approximately 2.27 grams and has a diameter of 17.9 millimeters with a reeded edge. Although this composition is common for modern dimes, certain rare errors in the 1983 P dime series involve deviations in weight, missing clad layers, or striking issues that make them highly collectible. Now let's talk about mintage. The 1983 P dime had very high production numbers, and millions were created for circulation. Because of this, most examples today are common and hold only face value. However, what makes this coin interesting to collectors is that 1983 was a year when very few uncirculated sets and mint packaging options were widely saved by the public, meaning that high-quality, well-preserved examples of the 1983 P dime are much harder to find than other years. Many circulated heavily, suffered wear, scratches, and marks from everyday use, making pristine examples desirable. Collectors especially look for sharp strikes, full details in Roosevelt's hair, clean surfaces free from damage, and strong luster. Coins found in exceptional condition can be worth more than ordinary circulated examples, especially when combined with rare errors. One of the most exciting aspects of the 1983 P dime is its potential error varieties. Some of the most sought-after errors include off-center strikes, where part of the design is missing due to misalignment during striking. Another valuable error is the missing clad layer, where one side of the coin appears copper-colored because the outer nickel layer did not bond properly. These missing clad layer errors can be worth much more than face value. There are also broad strike errors, where the coin lacks a proper formed rim due to striking outside the collar. Double die errors, although not widespread for this year, remain a possibility, and collectors always search for doubling in the lettering, numbers, or torch details. Another rare and valuable error involves the wrong planchette strikes. Occasionally a dime may have been struck on a blank intended for another denomination, such as a cent planchette, resulting in a lighter weight and unusual appearance. These kinds of mistakes happen very rarely and can make a coin dramatically more valuable because of the unique nature of the error. Some collectors also search for transitional planchette errors, although these are extremely uncommon for the 1983 P dime. Still, any unusual metal appearance, incorrect weight, or strange coloration can raise interest among collectors who specialize in error coins. Because the year 1983 did not see large numbers of high-grade examples stored away, collectors today find it challenging to locate beautiful, uncirculated 1983 P dimes. That scarcity in top condition is one of the main factors that drives value. Many people overlook coins from the 1980s, assuming they are always common, but careful searching can reveal hidden treasures. If you have a 1983 P dime, one of the first things to check is the overall condition. Look for sharp details, a strong portrait, well-defined lettering, and a brilliant surface. Coins with heavy wear, scratches, dents, or discoloration are usually only worth face value. However, a coin that appears almost untouched, shiny, and crisp can attract collectors who are seeking the best examples for their collections. Next, examine the coin for errors. Look at the edge for unusual thickness or missing reading. Inspect both sides carefully for missing clad layers, doubled features, or weak strikes. Check the alignment between the obverse and reverse. Any major deviation can increase interest and potential value. Many collectors today enjoy searching through pocket change, bankrolls, and coin collections looking for valuable dimes like the 1983 P. The idea that a small coin worth 10 cents could potentially be worth far more creates excitement for hobbyists, and can even inspire new collectors to join the world of numismatics. Historically, Roosevelt dimes have been a staple of American currency since 1946, replacing the Mercury dime. The transition was part of honoring Roosevelt shortly after his passing. Over the decades, the design has remained mostly unchanged, making subtle variations, mint marks, and errors more important for identifying collectible versions. The Philadelphia Mint, responsible for the 1983 P dime, has produced enormous quantities of coins for circulation throughout U.S. history. However, production speed and high demand can sometimes result in striking issues and errors that later become valuable. Collectors also appreciate the historical context of early 1980s coinage. The U.S. economy was recovering from inflation and economic challenges, and coin usage remained high, contributing to heavy circulation wear on coins of this period. This is another reason why high-quality examples are harder to find today. Another important factor in value is eye appeal. Even if a coin is technically in good shape, tarnish or unattractive toning may reduce desirability. On the other hand, attractive natural toning can increase interest, especially when it enhances the overall look of the coin. Some hobbyists specifically seek beautifully toned 1983p dimes with rainbow colors or rich gold and blue hues. These coins can command premiums when collectors find them appealing. It's also worth noting that many people collect Roosevelt Dimes by year and mint mark, making the 1983p an essential part of completing a full set. When collectors work to complete sets, demand increases for certain years that are harder to find in great condition. The thrill of coin collecting often comes from discovering something unexpected. Imagine going through a jar of old coins, searching through pocket change, or checking rolls from the bank, and suddenly finding a rare error or a nearly perfect 1983p dime. That moment of discovery is what keeps the hobby exciting for so many people. If you have a 1983p dime, take the time to examine it carefully. Look closely, use good lighting, and compare it to other dimes of the same design. Small details can make a big difference in value. Keep an eye out for weight differences, unusual surfaces, or striking anomalies. Many valuable coins have been discovered by regular people simply paying attention to their spare change. Collectors recommend storing coins properly to prevent damage. Avoid cleaning coins, as cleaning can reduce value significantly by scratching the surface or removing natural toning. Keeping coins in protective holders or safe storage environments helps preserve their condition for the future.